questioning the legitimacy of our election, doing the bidding of Putin. Where's Liz Cheney? She is always on the hunt for insurrectionists undermining democracy. Dan Hollaway joins. Liz Cheney wouldn't, but even better, we have Dan Hollaway, one of the hosts of the Drinking Brothers podcast. He joins us tonight. So Dan, here you have the leaders of our country undermining democracy by questioning the legitimacy of elections. Like, how can this stand?
Oh, it's pretty crazy. I mean, in November of 2020, the biggest threat to our democracy was calling a federal election illegitimate, which is interesting because in 2016 in November, the biggest threat to our democracy was an illegitimate election because of Trump-Russian collusion, which is super interesting because earlier in 2016, Hillary Clinton used DNC money to pay a foreign agent to fabricate all of that, which is an actual threat to democracy. So I'm not sure where we really go from here. It's a total clown world.
Maybe the rest of us are at least partly at fault by taking them at their word and understanding terms by their literal meanings. Maybe we shouldn't believe anything they say and assume the opposite is true.
Maybe that's true. I mean, look, don't believe the spin from Jen Psaki either, because Chris Cillizza and Robert Reich were right out on the stump immediately after Biden said this, full-throatedly agreeing with him. Just remember this, Tucker. There's one really important thing I want your viewers to remember. 2020 was the most fair election of all time, right? Yeah, pristine, ever. Perfect election of all time. But if we don't pass this legislation now, which takes voting rights away from the states and puts them in federal control, then we can't guarantee legitimacy of elections ever again, I guess. That's the lesson that we're being asked to take from these guys.
So the January 6th committee, Liz Cheney's committee, Nancy Pelosi's committee, is now stealing the text messages of journalists and political consultants who doubted the fairness of the last election and leaking them to the news media. Do you think they're going to subpoena the text messages of Kamala Harris, Jim Clyburn, and Joe Biden?
No, I don't. No, I don't. This is, like I said, it's a clown world. It's the same thing as going on with the filibuster right now. The filibuster was fine for 200 or 300 uses in the last legislative cycle when Trump was president, right? But now all of a sudden that too is a threat to democracy. I guess that's just the hot button word these days. You call something a threat to democracy and that's what it is. And it turns out that the Democrats are just fair weather fans of democracy, right? They like it when it works for them, but when it doesn't, everything is an existential threat.
Well put. Dan Hollaway, great to see you tonight. Thank you.